My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only, and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes, and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C, and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state.
This is video documentation of companies. This is the City of Ontario and Vector. So Vector is a third party. Ontario Municipality Utilities is a subsidiary. It's a faculty of the City of Ontario, if you will, and they're stalking. Okay, so I'm showing you the video. The fake sun remains on this side of the apartment building. It moves in real time over me. Remember, it's here yesterday when I'm here before entrance time. And remember, it's here Sunday when I'm arriving at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Remember, it's here yesterday when I'm stepping out of the same entrance after 3 o'clock in the afternoon well, I'm referring to the video where I'm capturing at the same entrance at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 12:57 in the afternoon. This is where companies are shown to be stalking. You are stalking when you're going to the destination in front of me. This is not based on chronology, it's based on the environment, where the entity is stalking where you routinely go. This is not sunlight, and this is light activity, and this is a threat to my life by the City of Ontario, the massive facilitation, which the people of the state do using their own vehicles under the fake sun. The fake sun that is here, when CASADA and the Ontario Fire Department, the Ontario Police, CASADA's partners, are engaging in what is stalking, and the fake sun is in this exact same position over me at this same location where they're engaged in criminal summoning. And this is stalking. Her going to the trash can is stalking in the path, keeping me surrounded, and that's a demon. The entity's engaged in criminal conduct also that's supposed to be invisible, and it's not invisible either under what is the fake sun. Okay, a Casada, they're engaged in bathroom monitoring. My panties are down. They're doing so where the Ontario is stalking, maintaining all manner of errands. First you're hovering, then you're acting like you're landing, and now you're flying at a heightened elevation where the fake sun is remaining from sunrise until sunset. Vector, City of Ontario, Paul Leon is being removed from office, and this is also serving for what is bathroom monitoring. While sex offenders like Abigail go into the bathroom and make announcements regarding what's going on with the closing time, and she knows exactly what is the state of my vagina, while sex offenders are outside, lying in wait, monitoring together, sharing in that sex offense, doing so with those over and under the age of majority, doing so with those that are elderly, doing so with those that are developmentally challenged, while they're gang stalking 7F36454, and the fake sun that is still here, where ACASAT and the Ontario Police, Ontario Fire, and AMR are gang stalking at the same location. This is showing stalking by companies who are going to be subject to civil and criminal prosecution. Criminal activity for which you will be civilly liable. And this is, again, unprecedented damages based on the conspiracy to murder that companies share in. Okay, this is psychological torture, and it's also relevant to the surrounding conduct while the entity is gang stalking you. And this is that threat that you are analyzing through the environment and their behavioral patterns in that environment, serving to monitor your P.O.C. It is currently 10:04 a.m. This is the pattern of conduct. This is OVITT Family Community Library. This is P.O.C. 9SOZ385. Sexual assault and battery. So was Vector. Sexual assault and battery. City of Ontario, sexual assault and battery. You have all these males that are engaged in vagina monitoring. Paul Leon is one of them as well. He's being removed from office. This is surveillance, conspicuous surveillance. And the area is going to be less one domestic terrorist. Paul Leon is absolutely not staying in office, and this is exposing the corruption that he's responsible for, payment, expenditures on criminal surveillance and further into murdering an American citizen. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is 10:05 a.m. Southwest Airlines is gang stalking me when this fake sun is in the same position. This is at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 4:45 in the evening, where this fake sun is merely right here. That's the entity that is indeed engaged in surveillance, and facilitation is an ongoing federal charge. You're not only going to be prosecuted for federal stalking, you're going to be prosecuted for facilitation, meaning helping everybody else gang stalk me and furtherance of murdering me. And that's what companies are going to be literally drained for. P.O.C.
Alrighty, this is bathroom monitoring that's underway by the City of Ontario that's using the Vector vehicle and doing so with regard to, remember, this is not only sexual obsession with me, my body, my vagina in particular, sex offenders who are no longer closeted, sex offenders who are no longer capable of engaging in what is violating you and your privacy in the shoes of the state with regard to satisfying their own perverted
impulses in secret while they're monitoring you. The entity is doing so through Vector license 1575310. There is the vehicle that's in relevant position under the fake sun, as I documented prior to my entrance. And Vector, the City of Ontario, are engaging in conspicuous stalking relevant to psychologically torturing, sexually threatening. This is psychological torture of a sexual nature. The entity that's monitoring you in the restroom is doing so pursuant to what is getting there in order to you to see that they're, especially because I'm documenting. So the entity is doing this with knowledge that you're aware. That's relevant to psychological torture, and that's relevant to the damages that dismember companies like Vector and municipalities like the City of Ontario. And Paul Leon is being removed from office for the criminal expenditure of funds and resources provided to keep my vagina under surveillance. And so this is the entity that's engaging in that. And so while I enter into the bathroom, which you already know is filled with engineer light, everywhere inside of the library is filled with engineer light. Alexander Grigg is at the circulation desk engaging in what is a documented act of retaliation, weaponizing what is vagina monitoring in order to do so with the whole city. This is supposed to be a tremendous, well, it actually is, but the entity's efforts are merely being documented to prosecute them. I am not the ordinary targeted individual, so I'm going to document this, and they're going to prison for this, and I'm also going to civilly prosecute. The entity is doing so, engaging in what is relevant to my documentation, so this is not only sexual violence, it is retaliation upon criminal surveillance of documentation. Abigail is the sex offender entering in last night, making an announcement, which is nothing other than audible activity. When there are no bathroom checks in engineer light, you know exactly what's going on in the restroom, and Abigail is doing so as a means of retaliation. A psychopath engaging in what is microaggressive methods of vagina monitoring in the engineer environment, in the bathroom with the same municipality. The municipality just engaged in conspicuously monitoring me and my vagina. Reasonably foreseeable vagina monitoring based on my entering into the restroom in the morning, upon the entity monitoring everything that you're doing, including your breathing pattern. So doing so with regard to the use of the Vector vehicle, light activity, fake sun, and you can refer to, like I did in that video, the Ontario Police Department, Fire Department, and AMR are under the fake sun at 12:14 p.m. engaging in the same exact sex offense, bathroom monitoring via criminal summoning. They're going to prison. Casada is a kidnapper, and the Ontario Police are sex offenders engaging in vagina monitoring via the corrupt municipality, and the sex offenders who are the people of the state, one of whom enter in as an agent engaging in sexual violence, and this demon is engaged in that pattern of conduct, merely wanted to come in, sexually violate, okay? Monitoring you while they know that you're aware of it. The entity is very foolish in doing this because I not only have knowledge, I am prosecuting, I am exposing worldwide exposure of the United States government, not just the sex offenders and the vagina monitors of the OVITT Family Community Library. You are dealing with those who are incompetent. They are literally mentally ill, psychopathic, deranged, obsessed with only me and my vagina. Not even thinking about the fact that, number one, you're facing prison time, prosecution of a federal nature, terrorism, never before contemplated in their little peon minds where they just gang stalk and murder people. But you're also talking about, this is exposing, this is reflecting upon the United States government. They don't care about that. These are the most unpatriotic, un-American terrorists that you can come across based on the hypocrisy of this country that's engaging in terrorizing American citizens in particular. That's why it is a specific note to underscore that the United States government's engaging in this. But I want to be clear, the entity is entering in with Vector stalking in the path and conspicuously doing so. And this sex offender, this is a female with poofy hair. She's got a fro. She's wearing what are dark sweats. She's also wearing a tan purse. She's wearing the clogs, shoes, white socks, black sweatpants, and her hair is undone. She's wearing like a nylon hooded dark blue jacket. She's just merely entering in to cross path to engage in what is psychological torture, harassment, sexual violence. I want to go in and harass you and psychologically harm you and terrorize you, gang stalk you in the bathroom because I know that you're aware of it, and you're also aware of everybody else that's outside engaging in that as well. This is what the entity is communicating while they enter into the bathroom space to engage in that P.O.C. with knowledge, meaning while monitoring the evidence. And this is shared by Vector. They're going to be prosecuted for that unlawful communication of a threat, conspicuous surveillance with the intent to traumatize, humiliate, sexually violate, monitoring literally the genitalia, which is a never before contemplated sex offense committed by a population, including this sex offender entering into the women's restroom. And remember, all of the venue, including Alexander Gregg, are at the circulation desk sharing in gratification of sexual violence of a retaliatory nature. This is the conduct of serial killers. This is what you need to understand. And this is also demonic. This is relevant to witchcraft, ritualistic conduct that is supposed to occur in secret. You have no idea. You're not aware of the significance of the light activity. You're not paying attention to the fake sun. You're not paying attention to the fact that the city of Ontario is engaged in the same presence on this stage at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're not paying attention to any of that while they're torturing and targeting an American citizen that they have conspired together to murder. And it includes every department in that city. It includes every citizen, even though these are not very civilized people, they're not actually, but with regard to prosecuting the civilian population, they will be referred to just for purposes of identity. But this is barbaric, Neanderthalic, animalistic. These are not healthy people. These are demon-possessed people that are a threat to the country, because their impulse is to attack, their impulse is to target innocent people. Okay, so the entities engaging in this, and this is relevant to Abigail, who's a sex offender, engaging in the same conduct with a third party who enters into the bathroom to commit the same sex offense with the entity. Okay, the entity was monitoring last night when Abigail calls herself making an announcement. The entity goes to the extent to conspicuously do so in your face to communicate a sexually violent threat. That is impossible audible activity, speaking to what is the sex offense underway in the bathroom when you're not making any announcements. Meaning you're making an announcement, but you're not making an announcement regarding whether there's a check for anyone in the bathroom. Abigail is a violent sex offender, and she is, may or may not, like I stated, be an admitted lesbian, homosexual, but she is a homosexual predator, preying upon my vagina, monitoring it with regard to what is the disingenuous bathroom check last night when she's engaging in what is a documented act of retaliation amongst the amplified audible noise in the bathroom and the engineer light. And Abigail is engaged in what is criminal summoning with the same gang stalkers of the city of Ontario. She's already facing what is federal prison, and she is engaging in that with regard to what is a mental illness, obsession with stalking me. Okay, an addiction to violence. More and more, which the demon-possessed commit, the more that you are discerning the fact that they're demons. That's what's coexisting with my documentation, because this is demonic, and it's demonic conduct that is proven with tangible evidence to be criminal. So this is how you have, and this is why you have the mentally ill behavior of committing more and more acts of violence as a gang. The entity, the city of Ontario, the state of California, the more that you document, okay? There is no noise that's going to be competing with my voice. You can't hear the elevator in here. You cannot hear what are through the tile walls and the solid walls, any impact from flushing the toilet. The entity is engaged in what is ongoing noise creation. You also don't have what are adjacent shadows, multiple shadows with regard to the artificial light. You don't have the artificial light. I told you don't have one part of the pattern of conduct without the rest of it. It is all a deliberately maintained environment, and the entity is delusional, engaging in more and more evidence provision with regard to that P.O.C. while they listen to me. This is all relevant to Vactor that's interested in my vagina, stalking in the path with light activity. And Vactor is an exposed, a self-admitted sex offender with who's engaged in facilitation of monitoring my vagina and is going out of the way, making money, engaging in what is a contract with the city of Ontario to commit that sex offense with all of the public. Not just the employees like Alexander Grigg, but all the demons engaging in what is surveillance inside of the library. Many of whose license plate I'm documenting, Metro 102, everybody in that parking lot, all the businesses creating light activity. Everyone that I documented by license plate are sharing in the sex offense, and they will all be uploaded to the Google Drive. They are sharing in the conspiracy to murder as well. The entity that's conspiring your murder is the one that is engaging in what is sexual violence, relevant to what is the documentation that they're also keeping under surveillance. This is P.O.C. I'm not only in the bathroom, you can come in. This is an entity that's pacing, entering, and exiting the restroom. They're doing so while I'm not occupying a stall. That's pursuant to what is monitoring. You're always reaching that conclusion when you have the engineer light, you're monitoring in the bathroom. When you have the amplified noise, you're monitoring in the bathroom. When you have it outside of the restroom, you also have it inside of the restroom. But when you have it outside of the restroom, like this demon that's walking in, opening and closing the door, you are monitoring in the restroom, and you are equally a sex offender, and you are also engaging in that while the fake sun's over the building that encompasses the restroom, and also creating light activity outside of the building under the fake sun that encompasses that light activity where demons are sharing in as an agent coming in to engage in what is sexual violence as an entity that is seeking to engage in some delusional means of retaliation. When you're going to prison, when you're going to be exposed for vagina monitoring, when you are all over the internet, that is not in fact retaliation. These are demons that are more obsessed with me and delusional with regard to what they are actually doing, with regard to what is no actual objective anymore, and engaging in what is showing the fact impact of mental illness that the federal courts, this federal law that is being informed and advised, and the federal prosecution is cognizant of. Okay, this is P.O.C. It is currently 10:23 a.m. at 215 E.C. Street. The fake sun is over me at the same entrance like I spoke to in the video at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Southwest Airlines, the Ontario International Airport, that is the same city of Ontario, is stalking with light in the environment in the same way that Vector is stalking with light using a vehicle which is associated with a company which is engaging in criminal activity. You're stalking with light when you're walking in, which is also pacing by demons who are mentally ill, who try to cloak that mentally ill behavior through the appearance of the deceptive appearance of normalcy, and none of it's normal. All right, that's P.O.C. It's currently, again, 10:24 a.m. This is bathroom monitoring. This is a bathroom monitor. Oh, excuse me, I have a question. Don't you guys... He's listening, he's monitoring, but he's running in. He's an engineer light. It's impossible. How is it that I am aware of this? Okay, I'm not looking through the walls. I don't know. They're stalking with amplified noise. So this is a sex offender. This is an employee. This is the environment where they are pacing outside of the restroom, first of all. Engineer light. My shadows come together. All right, one arm, two shadows. They are amplifying noise in the restroom. This is a sex offender monitoring a woman, stalking a woman, keeping a woman's genitalia under surveillance, keeping my communication device under surveillance, and doing so pursuant to what is the psychopathic behavioral pattern, amplified noise while you are in relevant position, literally stalking, and then stalking with noise, and you're stalking with light. That's what this environment is here for, and that is a male employee doing so with all the rest, everybody else. This is P.O.C. Quick question, what time is your office, that history area, open?
It's open from 1 to 6. Yeah. So
Okay.
It's open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 6, and on Thursdays from 1 to 9.
Okay, is that available on the website to look at that?
Yeah, it's...
What's your name again?
My name is Rob.
Rob? Mr. Rob.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your information. I'll look it up online then.
Yes, we do have it, and then we also have a flyer over...
This is pacing. This is a sex offender.
Here's information.
Yeah, I was looking for...
Yeah, has our numbers on there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good one. Rob, right?
Yep, that's correct. And
Okay.
My card is over here.
He's monitoring what I'm uploading right now on the internet as well.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you very much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Strauss. Have a good one. It's P.O.C. All right, Rob Strauss is engaged in psychopathic pacing, and this is in concert with the light activity outside. I want you to see this. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct, and I'm just stepping outside to get who is surveilling me in the bathroom, and that person merely represents an entity. It's not an individual. It's the entity. Rob Strauss is a state actor. Okay, not only as an employee of the City of Ontario, but because the City of Ontario, the state is monitoring. So whether you're a third party or literally employee of the city, you are a state actor. You're acting vicariously, you're acting directly. This is the P.O.C. And Rob Strauss is a violent sex offender engaged in vagina monitoring and doing so with all of the City of Ontario that's keeping me under surveillance on this second floor bathroom where you're not able to hear the elevator in there. You're not going to hear, or it's not going to create any impact. These are not little flimsy plywood walls. The entity's covering the walls with tile. The entity's engaging what is all manner demonic. The amplified noise is demonic, so it's supernatural. And this is proven, this is why a fake sun sits over this library. They are terrorizing me and psychologically torturing, sexually violating, harassing, threatening me while I'm documenting, and they are keeping that evidence under surveillance. And then you have sex offenders like Abigail and Rob Strauss engaging in monitoring me in the bathroom for retaliatory purposes. It's P.O.C. It's currently 11:02 a.m. Light activity, relevant positioning. Light activity, relevant positioning. Light activity, relevant positioning, and amplified audible activity. And this is psychopathic pacing. In the sky space, on the ground, in the engineer light. Here's one shadow, here's two shadows, here's three shadows. And of course we have Securitas. This is a very seriously mentally ill.
the infection is demon possession. That Securitas that's engaged in psychopathic pacing, molestation with light, serial stalking as well. Securitas engaged in what is criminal monitoring with the Ontario International Airport that has no terminals. No flights are going to hover here. No sun is going to rise and set here. The sun that Vactor is monitoring my vagina under this morning is this fake sun that remains until after 4 p.m. where this airport is stalking and doing so with regard to criminal conduct that's in furtherance of murder. License 9 George Frank Nancy 622, co-conspirator of murder, and doing so with the entity that's stalking with impossible light on the inside of the library. Their headlights aren't doing that. Those are demons that are stalking with light, engaging in surveillance. That's the airport that's getting shut down. This is what I've been documenting all day. This demon, Securitas employee, she's a stalker, and everybody else in that library has been stalking all day. This is the evidence of it. Impossible light activity. It's a psychopath. P.O.C. The Ontario Police Department is being shut down. The Ontario Fire Department, engaged in surveillance and furtherance of murder, is not going to exist anymore. The Ontario International Airport is being shut down for national security purposes. And this is psychopathic pacing. While not only are they targeting here, through the midst of this video, they're engaging in more and more of it. That's psychopathic behavior. That's what they're doing on the inside of a building all day long, pacing all around me in the engineered light. Okay, that's what Rob Strauss is doing, monitoring vagina in the bathroom on behalf of the city of Ontario. A sex offender, not an airport. It is being shut down for unprecedented reasons. This is P.O.C. 9:02 p.m. This is the criminal conduct that's going to put the co-defendants of OVITT Family Community Library in prison. These are the fools that gave me the case to put them all away where they belong, in high security facilities. P.O.C. This is a bathroom monitor. Oh, excuse me, I have a question. Don't you guys... He's listening, he's monitoring, but he's running in. He's an engineer light, and it's impossible. How is it that I am aware of this? Okay, I'm not looking through the walls. I don't know. They're stalking with amplified noise. So this is a sex offender. This is an employee. This is the environment where they are pacing outside of the restroom, first of all. Engineer light. My shadows come together, all right? One arm, two shadows. They are amplifying noise in the restroom. This is a sex offender monitoring a woman, stalking a woman, keeping a woman's genitalia under surveillance, keeping my communication device under surveillance, and doing so pursuant to what is the psychopathic behavioral pattern, amplified noise, while you are in relevant position, literally stalking, and then stalking with noise, and you're stalking with light. That's what this environment is here for, and that is a male employee doing so with all the rest, everybody else. This is P.O.C. Quick question, what time does your office, that history area, open?
It's open from 1 to 6. Yeah. So
Okay.
It's open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 6, and on Thursdays from 1 to 9.
Okay, is that available on the website to look at that?
Yeah, it's...
What's your name again?
My name is Rob.
Rob, Mr. Rob.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your information. I'll look it up online then.
Yes, we do have it, and then we also have a flyer over...
This is pacing. This is a sex offender.
Here's information.
Yeah, I was looking for...
Yeah, has our numbers on there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a good one. Rob, right?
Yep, that's correct. And
Okay.
My card is over here.
He's monitoring what I'm uploading right now on the internet as well.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you very much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Strauss. Have a good one. It's P.O.C. All right, Rob Strauss is engaged in psychopathic pacing, and this is in concert with the light activity outside. I want you to see this. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct, and I'm just stepping outside to get who is surveilling me in the bathroom, and that person merely represents an entity. It's not an individual, it's the entity. Rob Strauss is a state actor, okay, not only as an employee of the City of Ontario, but because the City of Ontario, the state is monitoring. So whether you're a third party or literally employee of the city, you are a state actor. You're acting vicariously, you're acting directly. This is the P.O.C. And Rob Strauss is a violent sex offender engaged in vagina monitoring and doing so with all of the City of Ontario that's keeping me under surveillance on this second floor bathroom where you're not able to hear the elevator in there. You're not going to hear, it's not going to create any impact. These are not little flimsy plywood walls. The entity's covering the walls with tile. The entity's engaged in what is all manner demonic. The amplified noise is demonic, so it's supernatural. And this is proven, this is why a fake sun sits over this library.
They are terrorizing me and psychologically torturing, sexually violating, harassing, threatening me while I'm documenting, and they are keeping that evidence under surveillance. And then you have sex offenders like Abigail and Rob Strauss engaging in monitoring me in the bathroom for retaliatory purposes. It's P.O.C. It's currently 11:02 a.m. All right, criminal summoning at 537 North Euclid Avenue, and this is occurring at what is approximately 11:31 p.m. And the entity is including the pettiness of the obvious clear losers in what was some sick competition that does not actually exist in reality. However, the demon-possessed called themselves competing for that which you cannot compete to live my own life and be me. But nonetheless, this is the federal prosecution of the U.S. government that's gang stalking me. And the entity is being prosecuted. The entity has been prosecuted through the public investigation of the U.S. government that is proven now in the U.S. and never to be mistaken with any sort of conspiracy theory. The entity is indeed engaged in gang stalking, and these demons in the city of Ontario are engaging in what is a retaliatory method, doing so with Amazon Prime. The entity is threatening through the environment. You can hear the train activity. That's impossible audible noise. It's a public nuisance, as the entity is engaging what is harassment while they're stalking you with light activity, while they're stalking you with audible activity, while they are stalking you. It is harassment, and it is also highly deranged while a government is doing this with a people. And this people is literally mentally ill. They're demon possessed. That's the particular condition, and it is creating this psychopathic behavioral issue that's a national security threat, because this population is surrounding you in a neighborhood wherever you're located. But nonetheless, at approximately 11:31 p.m., while I am at 537 North Euclid Avenue, the entity is again engaging what is communicating a threat. Amazon Prime crossing path on several methods on the roads and the highways. And Amazon Prime, remember, this is the entity that is engaging in federal group stalking monitoring. Every person that drives by you is specifically doing so pursuant to the intent to target you. There's no one that's coincidentally or just driving on the street or walking by you or riding a bike by you or walking there, whatever they're doing. It is all deliberate. You need to understand that this is literally a stage. They are all demons, and they're all focused on you. And this is how you're aware of, this is how I am able to show you what is, then you can see how they're psychopaths, because they're all acting like they're not. Okay? And so we pierce through that. The entity is engaged in entirely focusing on you and focusing on your reactions while they're stalking you in a manner that you're not supposed to be able to prove, rather, is because the entity wants to threaten the target individual. The entity wants to harass and stalk and psychologically torture and sexually violate. The entity just doesn't want you to be able to speak to it in any intelligent manner, in any way that you can communicate it in any intelligible manner to someone else, that in order that they may understand, in order that they may help you, in order that they may see what it is that you are subject to. That's what the entity doesn't want. The entity wants to secretly, that's relevant to psychological torture. The entity wants to secretly target you. That's why they stalk you with impossible light activity, by the way. That's why they're stalking you under a fake sun, by the way. That's why they're stalking you as an entity that is ostensibly strangers to you, and including those who you know. Because when you're around your family and your friends, they're not stalking you. That's your family and your friends. Yeah, that's the entity that's engaging in that conduct with the intent to psychologically torture you. So at 11:31 p.m., Amazon Prime is engaging with a psychopathic pacing, and is doing so while the entity then commits sexual assault and battery, and is doing so again. That third party, 4UVK 529, sexual assault and battery as an entity. I captured a plethora of license plates today, and they share in that sexual violence, and they have earned, the people of the state are monsters who have earned the title, the appropriate label as terrorist, as sex offender, as psychopath, as danger to the public. Okay, that's the reality based on what they have done and what they are still doing. And they are an entity that is under no circumstances impervious to being federally prosecuted, slicing that entire entity down. Okay, so this is an entity that's engaging in at 11:31 p.m. Amazon Prime is engaged in psychopathic pacing. Okay, that's relevant to what is stalking. Amazon Prime communicating a threat. Amazon Prime does so with regard to what is monitoring evidence about itself.
monitoring evidence period that I'm publishing. The demon possessed that are stalking me also follow my lead. So with regard to what it is that I've been publishing in 2022 as of late, I am speaking to a lot of my videos, Amazon Prime, and this is why I'm going to prosecute you. This is, again, the entity that also knows that it is already caught. Very suicidal conduct, self-destructive, self-harming tendencies, where they engage in conduct that is not helping their cause when they are already at a disadvantage. But this is the entity that's, again, more focused on me, more focused on my genitalia, more focused on what I say, what I think, what I'm telling other people about it. And nobody cares about what they are concerned about. No healthy person. I'm not talking to demons. Demons are obsessed with me. I'm not talking to the demons. I am speaking to those who are healthy individuals, who are genuinely ignorant and who are learning, who are witnessing what the Lord God is doing and what he is saying. And the demon possessed are engaging in what is obsession, literally, till their very end. So the entity that is monitoring the evidence engages in what is very damning conduct, very criminal, and also very expensive, okay, very costly. But replicating that ongoing threat that Amazon Prime represents, they are engaging what is crossing path at any moment where I'm being accosted, where I'm being physically attacked, when I'm being harassed, when I'm being molested, when I'm being stolen from. Amazon Prime is injecting itself into the pattern of conduct. And this is, again, the logo itself, the company itself, the entity that is Amazon Prime has associated itself with harming me, psychologically torturing me, sharing and stalking, and wanting to partake in that harm as an entity. And that's what I'm speaking to in my documentation in 2022. And it is no coincidence that tonight at approximately 11:31, this is when the entity engages in criminal summoning, with American Medical Response trailing right behind AMR with lights and sirens, driving north on Euclid Avenue, doing so while with the lights and sirens on, and then starting the sirens, the sound of the sirens and lights, right before they cross path with me, and after they cross path with me, the sirens stop. They cross path at 536 North Euclid Avenue, Bethel Congregation, okay? After they cross path with me, the sirens also stop. I am the focus, even as you're listening to the entity engage in activity creation. But this is where Amazon Prime is starting the attack, if you will, repeatedly crossing path. I don't care. I never have. I've been prosecuting Satan the whole time. Satan is the one that cares, and that's what's wrong with the entity. It is mentally ill, and all this time it thought that it was magical. And you were never magical. You're just psychotic, okay? And you are in need of serious mental examination, serious assistance. You need Christ Jesus, all right? You literally need Christ with regard to what is your mind state. Because there is no medical professional that can help you with the type of handicap that you demons suffer from. This sparking with light, stalking with light conduct, this ongoing agenda, which is only existing in your mind. You're not accomplishing anything. I am prosecuting you. There is no such thing as retaliating against what is a federal prosecutor who is capturing the evidence to make sure you are penalized in a federal tribunal. There's no such thing, okay? The fact that that doesn't connect in your mind is why you need help. Okay, it encapsulates. It is the quintessence of your mental issues. Okay, so the entities engaging in this pattern of conduct, Amazon Prime is the third party, the people of the state, engaging what is gang stalking me as the entity then commits criminal summoning. American Medical Response using its lights and sirens in a criminal manner. Amazon Prime crossing path again, and doing so, this is the entity, this is the same pattern documented throughout the years, molesting me with impossible light. That's fine. I'm going to literally criminally prosecute in a civil court with regard to damages. The damages awarded will be relevant to what is the criminal prosecution. That is damages that are designed to prosecute you, designed to prosecute that company, designed to inflict devastating, detrimental harm based on the conspiracy to murder me, which Amazon Prime is engaging in real time with impunity. That's the key term with regard to damages and with regard to the Amazon Prime employees who are going to prison. This is what they're always demonstrating, and that's exactly what the policy is, and this is why, okay? The entities engaging in that P.O.C. Omnitrans bus drivers are going to federal prison while they're engaging in gang stalking with the entity, with impunity, with any means of law enforcement. Amazon Prime employees are going to federal prison. They've been gang stalking me with Fontana Police, Ontario Police, Los Angeles Police, and guess what? They're going to prison in the same way that they're engaging in this criminal conduct, and they are short-sighted and not considering that. That's not what they're not thinking about that. And that's, again, the mental illness that is working for me and working against them. The entity is engaging in ongoing stalking while the entity is maintaining all of the environment, engineered light, stalking with a fake moon over me at Stater Brothers, stalking by aerial surveillance. The entity is engaging in this on an ongoing ceaseless basis while the people of the state are sex offenders, gargoyles, molesting with impossible light. You already know that they're sex offenders, and you have the entity that's intentionally crossing paths by Amazon over and over and over again. Okay? The entity then commits criminal summoning. And that's the American Medical Response, who was using their lights and sirens while Ontario police are behind. It's the same conduct as if Ontario police were sounding their sirens. It's still criminal summoning, and the same elements of monitoring are underway. The entity is engaging in what is communication of a threat of kidnapping by both American Medical Response and the Ontario Police Department, who have both engaged in what is kidnapping as an entity, criminally defaming together. And this is relevant to what are both departments regarding the city of Ontario being removed altogether. This is why you're being disbanded, okay? This is, again, I don't know who you think that you're hurting, but your punishment, what it is that you are being served with is already a matter of public information. You're being disbanded. So this is an entity that engages in what is a parade, an ongoing parade of shame while they are gang stalking to what end, for what purpose, what objective are you achieving? Okay, because you hate when I get on my podcast and I speak to and describe what you're doing with the ways in which I'm able to do that with words. While you're as I speak the truth, okay, you despise it, but yet you keep asking for it. Okay, so the entity is engaging in that pattern of conduct, and they're doing so with regard to targeting me using lights and sirens, which is criminal summoning. It's a federal offense. It's exactly why American Medical Response, the Ontario Fire, and the Ontario Police Department, the Ontario International Airport, the functions of the City of Ontario are being removed. The city is being gutted out. Okay, the City of Ontario has engaged in terrorism so thoroughly documented that it is serving as a template for how you are able to investigate and prosecute any state for targeting an American citizen. Okay, but I just want to document that 11:31 p.m. The entity engaged in criminal summoning and Amazon Prime sharing in that. Amazon Prime, just like the people of the state, are associating brands. You're going to regret that in federal court. You're going to regret that also with regard to this world, not just the American people, but the world associating you. Proven. Okay, no one's going to be scared of you. No one's going to be scared to speak out against you. No one's going to be hesitant to speak their mind about why they don't support you and why others shouldn't. That's gone. And you're going to regret it on that side of a federal prosecution. Okay, this is P.O.C. It's currently 11:46 p.m.